Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. What we do around here is bring about a consistent, connective, with a meaningful and hopefully helpful series of contacts, and we do that in a consistent basis. We try to do that as often as possible, usually several times per week, bringing about conversations of a psychological coaching and mental and emotional health paradigm. If you're looking for new people to connect with and or new ways to be of benefit in that way, you can reach out through Twitter at PO Perception or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. This particular audio is about social introversion. So what are some signs of a social introvert, or what are some things that a social introvert may do to give you a sign that they are social introverts or struggling with social introversion? So the first thing is these individuals are going to be quiet in group settings like a party or other large setting. This is because they're taking in all the information and often becoming very overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be social. Much to the contrary, they desire to be social, but the act of being social is taxing to them, frustrating to them, and leading them in a direction which is kind of taking them out of work-life balance. And what I mean is inner work, not necessarily vocational work, life balance. So the more they're around people, the more cluttered and disorganized they feel and or pressured to perform. For an introvert, being in public is an awful lot like a performance in that they have to find a way to be comfortable in an environment that they're normally not. And so they're constantly concerned, or almost constantly concerned, with how they come across to other people, as opposed to actually having meaningful relationships in a positive, progressive manner. It doesn't necessarily mean that things are good or bad. It just means that at the end of the day, things are going in a direction which is, difficult, and finding a way to connect with that is an important factor as it relates to connecting on a deeper level, but also finding a level of support that is both progressive, positive, and meaningful. And often this can be overwhelming for people who are in a social situation where they are uncomfortable or overwhelmed. The next thing is these individuals, they don't mind when they're silent with other people in the room, or just silence in general. In other words, going to places where they can be by themselves and cloistered away from the rest of the world. Finding a silent place actually is a comfort to these individuals, because silence for them means lack of clutter, means lack of disorganization, finding a way to find a more meaningful way to approach the world. It doesn't necessarily mean that an individual isn't getting to a good place. It just means finding a way for them to create separation of space when they are overwhelmed, and find a silent place to be several times throughout the day, preferably, if not more, but it becomes a necessity for these individuals. The next is they don't seek attention. As a matter of fact, they try to avoid attention. This means being inconspicuous and somewhat absent as it relates to connecting on a level that is more towards connecting with people who want to give them attention. The more attention they have, the more they feel the need to perform. So trying to make oneself as least visible as possible is very common for these individuals. The level of energy that it takes them to interact with others can be overwhelming, and so social interaction is kept to a minimum, trying to avoid anything that will exhaust them when dealing with people. The need to always be on or considered in a certain way can make them exhausted, and thus their social interactions are limited to both being abrupt to the point, very focused, but also as short and impactful as possible, as opposed to getting into a negative space as it relates to all of that. So hopefully this is helpful, and I hope that you continue to be helped by the channel. Please feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and all that good stuff. Until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.